My name is Judy Rantz Willman, and Joe Rantz, one of the lead characters in The Boys in the Boat, was my father. Well, Joe Rantz was one of the guys who was on the 8-oar crew team, University of Washington team, that went to the 1936 Berlin Olympics and took a gold medal in front of Hitler. And the story, I mean, this was during the Depression. The story is a story of hardship and determination and fellowship, and I mean, it was an amazing story. A lot of things that went wrong that they shouldn't have been able to overcome throughout, like, that entire time, pretty much, that they were on crew. And so my feeling, especially with my dad, who had had a seriously hard childhood that affected how he could relate to other people, even because he had no trust left. And of course, crew is a sport which requires absolute, ultimate trust of the team members in one another. So I was feeling like it was, especially now, when we seem to have so much trouble trusting each other or working together, anything like that, I was feeling like it was important to get this story out so that people could read it. He was abandoned, and he was sent off, and he was moved to places he didn't know. He was basically treated as a disposable child. And so he had a decision that he had to make. He had to decide, was he going to be a victim or a survivor? And his decision was that, by God, he was going to be a survivor, and he was going to finish high school. But he was never again going to trust anybody for his future, for his, you know, to trust with his life, with his ability to survive. He was going to do it on his own. And that was what he did. He did a lot of stuff at Roosevelt. One of the things he did was he joined their gymnastics team. And he was one day on the team, and by this time he was pretty impressive. He was like 6'2.5", and very well muscled, because a lot of the stuff he'd done was really to keep himself alive, to earn money, was really heavy duty stuff. And here's this tall, muscled kid doing grand circles on the high bar. And Al Ulbrickson, the coach from the University of Washington rowing program, is out sort of scouting around the various high schools, looking at possible recruits for his rowing program. And there he sees Dad doing these circles on the high bar. And he goes across the hall to the chemistry lab and asks the chemistry teacher, "Who's that kid on the high bar?" And the chemistry teacher says, "Oh, that's my younger brother, Joe." And so it's basically, well, when he gets to the university, you have him look me up. So there he was. He was going to be heading for the university. He was a self-sufficient kid, but he was a kid who had been basically disposable and didn't trust anybody. Right. Trying to head into a situation which required the ultimate in trust and teamwork. Dan was, by the time he'd gotten through talking with Dad for a fair amount of time, he got to the place I mean, he knew he wanted to write the book, but he hadn't really asked Dad about it yet. And he got to the place of broaching the subject. And Dad said, no, I don't want you to write a book about me, but you can write about the boat.